Chapter 7 of Mr. Lemoncello's Library by Mrs. Yaniga. Heading back to school on Tuesday, Kyle knew he had to put on a brave face. He smiled as he walked with his class towards the auditorium for a special early morning assembly, the one where Mr. Luigi L. Lemoncello himself would announce the winner of the library lock-in essay contest. "I hope he picks yours," Kyle whispered to Akimi. "Thanks, I do too, but the lock-in wouldn't be as much fun without you." "Well, when it's over and the library is officially open, you can take me on a tour." "That's exactly what I'm going to do, if I win. If you don't, I'm sending a flaming squirrel after Mr. Cameron." For this assembly, the 7th graders, most of whom were 12 years old, were told to sit in the front rows, close to the stage. That made Kyle feel a little better. At least he'd get a chance to see Mr. Lemoncello up close and personal. But his hero wasn't even on stage. Just the principal, the school librarian, Mrs. Young's Hang, and a red-headed woman in high-heeled shoes who Kyle didn't recognize. She sat up straight, like someone had skipped a yardstick down the back of her bright red business suit. Her glasses were bright red, too. "That's Dr. Yanina Zinchenko," gushed Miguel Fernandez, who was sitting on Kyle's right. "Who's she?" asked Akimi, seated to Kyle's left. "Just the most famous librarian in the whole wide world." "All right, boys and girls," said the principal at the podium. "Settle down. Quiet, please. It is my great honor to introduce the head librarian for the new Alexandriaville Public Library, Dr. Yanina Zinchenko." Everyone clapped. The tall lady in the red outfit strode to the microphone. "Good morning." Her voice was breathy with just a hint of a Russian accent. 12 years ago, this town lost its one and only public library when it was torn down to make room for an elevated parking garage. Back then, many said the internet had rendered the old-fashioned library obsolete, that a new parking garage would attract shoppers to the boutiques and dress shops near the old bank building. But the library's demolition also meant that those of you who are now 12 years old have lived their entire lives without a public library. She looked down at the front rows. This is why, to kick off our summer reading program, 12 12-year-olds will be selected to be the very first to explore the wonders awaiting inside Mr. Lemoncello's extraordinary new library. You will, of course, need your parents' permission. We have slips for you to take home. You will also need a sleeping bag, a toothbrush, and, if you please, a change of clothes. She smiled mysteriously. You might consider packing 2 pairs of underwear. Okay, thought Kyle, that's bizarre. Did the librarian really think 7th graders weren't toilet trained? There will be movie, food, fun, games, and prizes. Also, each of our 12 winners will receive a $500 gift card good towards the purchase of Mr. Lemoncello's games and gizmos. Oh, man! $500 worth of free games and gear? Kyle sank a little lower in his seat. The next time someone gave him an extra credit essay assignment, he'd turn it in early. And now, here to announce our winner, the man behind the new library, the master gamester himself, Mr. Luigi Lemoncello. Mrs. Zinchenko gestured to her left. The whole auditorium swung their heads. People were clapping and whistling and cheering, but nobody came on stage. The applause petered out, and then, on the opposite side of the stage, Kyle heard a very peculiar sound. It was a cross between a burp and the squeak from a squeaky toy.